Okay, if you can hear me, I hope this thing is recording. These are some of the tools you might need for painting and starting miniatures. I have a pre-painted miniature here. I don't know if you can see them very well, but I'm going to bring them pretty close to the camera. This is basically an AD&D miniature, and paint it to the scale how I'd like it. And eventually later on I'll show you how to paint each miniature, starting with fighters through wizards, clerics, priests, paladins, and knights for the AD&D line. I want to start Wizards of the Coast is good miniature. You don't have to clean them or prime them. They come already primed, and you have to paint them. So this is basically a fighter here. They come with this cool little base here, so you can, you'll need some glue. Now I use Model Masters because it has a little needle and you can guide where you want the glue to go. You'll need some flocking materials. All this is good for the base. A cleaning tool, this is for when you start Warhammer, you're going to need that. And a pair of sprue cutters with a flat edge. So what this will do is that when you cut the sprue out, nice flat edge, and then you can clean it up with a tool. You can use sandpaper. I use a metal file just for the harder, rougher areas to make a nice flat base. Now a Sharpie, because the base is black, what I do with the Sharpie is I trace the feet of the miniature around, and I know this is not the best camera to use for this. This is just going over materials you might need. The reason why I use a silver Sharpie is that will give me an outline of areas where I don't want the flocking to be glued to. Also, and then you can spray over it later. Now, this is the primer I use. This is just a basic spray paint. It's colored white. It's nice color to use. Now, because these guys here are already sprayed and you don't have to do nothing but paint by numbers. But a lot of other miniatures, they'll use spray paint. They'll use gray or black. But when you use a spray can, I like to use this. This is only $1. You get all this spray stuff, and this is great for base coating the miniature in one coat of color, so you can paint over it. White is the easiest to use and see the detail for when you're starting out. Later on, gray. Now I find gray is a great happy medium, and white would be used for brighter colors such as yellow or reds. Reds will come out a little bit bright, so actually the best spray color underneath would be gray. And this miniature here is gray. As you can tell, they did their homework when they came out with this miniature line for Wizards of the Coast. Good miniature line. So for starting out, you want Wizards of the Coast is $5. You get 2 characters in there, and that's a good start. I started with Goundoff when I painted. So I want to go over what kind of paints do you want to use when you're starting out. Well, a lot of people aren't near a hobby store. What you will find at a Walmart or Target or a craft store. This is the company. It's called Folk Art. Now this is a metallic. I just like the label better, so I used it for the video. Folk Art actually is an acrylic based paint, so it's water based, and it's not too expensive. So for $8 you can get about 12 of these. That's a good deal. Now, when you get a little better, a little more technical with your paint, and you like your AD&D and you want to keep painting them, I suggest Vallejo. Now, Vallejo, this is model colored Vallejo. When Vallejo dries, it will turn into like a rubbery substance. But it is an acrylic, and you can use water-based and clean your brush off with that. Vallejo is a good company. It's going to be around longer than most of your paint companies, along with Folk Art. And it's a good line of paints also. Now for beginners, I'm going to suggest GW. Okay? Now that doesn't mean go out and buy GW if you can't afford GW. For their box set, it will come with the base coat set of paints, which is all the colors of the rainbow, just base, a pair of sprue cutters, which is this, and flocking material and glue. So that box set for a beginner is very good, and I believe GW comes out with baseline paints, layered paints, and also comes out with edge kind of paints. So basically GW is a great paint line, a little more expensive, and but it's a good first buy for a beginner. Now, a lot of people will hold the miniature by the base and paint when you're first starting out. So I wouldn't recommend holding the top of the miniature. He's already covered with a varnish. Now Citadel makes a good matte varnish. Now you can use hairspray also if you don't have a lot of money. It's only $1 at the dollar store. But the other thing I want to go over is Citadel's greatest little invention here. This is a base holder from 25 to 32 millimeters from GW. It's easy to work with. Now a lot of people have done videos about this and how to use it. It's very simple. You put the miniature in the base, and what it does is it holds the miniature. Now I've used it just to practice, see how it works, and it works great. Now these little metal dots on the side, and GW was smart about it. A lot of people are wondering, well, what is that? Is that just the metal that holds the sprue? No. What it is it's magnetized. Give me an example. Now I have a little gun here. On the back here, I drilled in a magnet. And that just holds it right there like that. There you go. That's another use for that handle. Pretty nifty, pretty cool, pretty good product for $8. It's not bad. Now I made my own little paint holder, my brush holder, because I love paint so much. All the brushes I can buy and imaginable. I like to buy the craft ones, about $15. You get yourself a good bundle of them, because you're going to go through these brushes pretty good. Now brushes can range from $15 to $23 to $6 a brush, but these crafts brushes are pretty good. These aren't bad to work with, and when you're starting out, that's what you want. You just get a bunch of craft brushes and you'll go through them. And I suggest using acrylics, because acrylics are water based and it won't ruin your brushes too much. A little water dish to work with, there you go. You can buy those anywhere. They're 99 cents. And that's all you need to clean your brushes with, and starting out with a piece of paper towel. That's it. That's all I use when I start painting. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit like and subscribe at the bottom. And if you like my commentary, I'll go over more things and how to paint AD&D miniatures to start. I want to do their whole paint line. I want to start with the fighter. I'm going to go with the barbarian, a priest, and basically this is a good setup. And this little cutting board here is great to paint on. And then that's basically what I use. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.